The power of the Asgardian shrine pours into your heart. It's the power of Asgard. I don't know what it does, but it's powerful power. Asgard. I don't know. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, hello, and welcome to Atomic Mass Transmissions Live. Today, we're doing something a little fun. Every now and then now and again, we do fun conversion builds or terrain, like hobby stuff. And we might possibly be having an Asgardian Shrine painting blog going up this week. And I was just like, well, if we're putting up a painting blog, maybe, without confirming that a painting blog is coming, I was like, and we're gonna talk about today on stream, like, why don't we do a conversion? So I took the parts of the Asgard Shrine, and literally yesterday I was trying to cobble it together to see what I could come up with, and I'm gonna go through the steps of where I am now, because I had to get to like a certain point, right? And then we'll continue working on it and talk about ideas for other Asgardian shrines. So, shall we kick it over to that mini cam? So as you can see, it did say Leia, and then it was updated because that was last week. So this is the one I painted up already, and you can see it's got some really cool rainbowy effects on the masonry. It's got some gold inlay. It's got this wonderful Valkyrie statue. And gray rocks. And I was like, well, if we're gonna do this, let's, like, instead of painting another one, because I already wrote a blog, let's convert it. So this is just the parts of the Asgard Shrine, right? This is the front, as you can see here. This goes all the way around to the back. That's one big part. But then obviously this is where that second part pops off. But I just took this front and rotated it and had to do a little trimming to get it to fit right, which is fine, just a little trimming to get that to fit right. I've added some aluminum foil, which we're going to putty over to where the major gaps are. Those are just where the plastic didn't fit. And then you can see I just used plastic card in my really bad plastic carding to make like a little foundation base, and mainly for the putty work. I wanted to have that putty on something. So that's where we're at. We have a bunch of parts. Of course, it comes with a Valkyrie statue. And I was like, well, what should we do with that? It doesn't obviously go on this train any longer. So I thought we'll make a little freestanding. And I got some fun bits that we're going to add to that as we go. Which part should we do this part? Should we build the Valkyrie statue and then the putty, or do the putty first? Let's putty first. I think you're right. Is the bottom. No one will know about the black plastic card. That's true. Yeah, interacting with the stairs. You're not supposed to stop there. That's a short move though. So, zing. And if if you're standing here and you can't get up, that's not a proper placement. You have to stand there, and then you have to move up to the top. Or make a rule: if you touch it, you can teleport to the top. For house games, I don't talk about tournament games. I don't know enough about tournaments. So tournament play is tournament play, but all other plays is all other play. Make some stuff up. Have a cool story. Tell a fun story. So I got some 2-part epoxy putty. Cows can't go downstairs, but can go up. Little stairs really fast. Oh, certain yellow robots can't go upstairs either. Summer got it. Stairs. Just gotta mix this up. The journey of the train. Yeah, I like terrain is such an important and unique part of miniature games, right? It's another character in the game, and it's another puzzle for you to grok, right? I'm not a fan of symmetrical perfectly balanced terrain on a table. I like terrain that kind of like gives each player a different thing to worry about or figure out. So I like asymmetrical tables with things that are not good for my army, good, quote, quote, good, because I like the puzzle of being like, as a general, right? I want to look at the terrain and be like, well, my army is not really cut out to deal with this. So how do I deal with it? How do I play around it? How do I use tactics and strategy to mitigate the impact of that terrain? I find that very fun and challenging. And then just from like a standpoint of like Marvel Crisis Protocol, especially, and SharePoint and Legion, we definitely have a terrain as a character in the game philosophy, right? It's part of what makes it different than all other games that exist, right? I play card games and board games, and I really should be wearing gloves, but I'm not. Everybody in the studio plays card games and board games and lots of different miniature games. And we try stuff out, and we play games. And the unique thing about miniature games is terrain, right? In miniatures, right? There's many things, but the fact that you have these really cool, wonderful boards to like tell a story upon is such a fascinating part. It's one of the things that drew me to miniature games at a very early stage in my life. Is I got it was like graduating from all the cool action play sets, right, of my youth, and suddenly my action play set had rules and stuff that I got to play with, and I just found that so fascinating. So definitely for us around here, right, it's such a vital aspect of the game, and the game is designed around how does terrain work and all that. So just something, just talking now. I'm just talking nonsense, Summer. We just jiving, we riffing and vibing. You said vibing earlier. Now I'm just gonna stick it all day. I'm just gonna vibing all day. Turn this around so you can see. I'm just putting this right over the aluminium. But I thought, man, this will be fun to do like just a different take and see what we can come up with, right? Instead of one big piece of terrain, maybe you get inspired and it's like, oh, this is 2 pieces of terrain, right? Or maybe you can make 3 pieces of terrain. Maybe that's just the way you like to play, right? So there's no stopping the limits of imagination and creativity. So let's get out there and create and make some cool stuff. Let's make cool stuff. I think this would be, somebody mentioned earlier, mix it with Thanos Throne. Yeah, the Thanos stuff would work really well. Honestly, there's a lot of talk about using some of the stuff for, maybe Shatterpoint with a little conversion work in the office. People were like, oh, what if you did this? I'm like, oh yeah, that's a good idea. There's all sorts of ideas to be gleaned. You could probably mix it with Wakanda pretty well as well. I think with a few additions, you could make it Wakanda-esque And that could be interesting as well. But I'm going to go full Asgard. Vibing and driving. It's kind of like the 80s band Driving and Crying, but we're vibing and driving. Maybe we're vibing and crying. I'm not crying. I'm having a good time. Thanks for asking. Using Jedi statues as inspirations for Grievous working sharp. Yep. Train has endless options when you start looking at it. There's so many things you can do and not just take them at face value, right? Look at the opportunities. Look at what could be done. Not bad, not bad, not bad. You make any questions about what I'm doing? Everybody's just watching. It's not a silly question. Actually, I should be using gloves because I always worry about this certain putties interacting with my skin. Like, it's more my safety that I pretend to care about, but I don't. Am I making a full Asgard table with this? Absolutely. I mean, there's a whole other terrain set. What's that one? Do you remember the name of that? Is it Battle of Asgard? No. Isn't it it's Battle of Asgard.
It's the Asgard Shrine and the Battle for Asgard.
Battle for Asgard. So there's a whole other terrain set that has some really neat stuff in it. So I'll be mixing, and actually I have a few of those parts with me, and we might see about what we can do to integrate some of those parts in with this terrain set. I need to switch to an actual tool so I can start getting into. Do I ever use terrain rocks, or in this case cork, to imprint the additional playwork? Yeah, that's a great tip, Kel. Do I have a rock in here? Summer, do you have a rock in your shoe?
You know what? I have flip-flops on today, but I do know where I can find a rock.
Or, oh wait, look, check this out. Are you ready? Watch this. I think this will work.
Oh, look at that.
See this? I didn't use this part. This putty's wet.
Oh, we cannot see that part.
Can you see that?
We can see that.
So you could use aluminum. You could use a rock. You could use cork. I'm going to use this chunk. I think there's probably something a little bit better around here. Let me dig around. Oh yeah, let me use this. Rock from your yard. I need something a little bit different shaped. You got a rock? You gonna find me a rock?
5 seconds. I'll be there.
5 seconds.
Oh, don't count.
5. This is the top part of that Asgard shrine. We're just gonna do some little dabbins. Nothing knows what a rock looks like more than a rock. Let me tell you, that is accurate. I've seen sculptors try to sculpt rocks, and you're just like, that doesn't look like a rock. There's so many irregular shapes in natural formations, and we as humans are not super good at irregularities. We want symmetry and regular. Oh, what do you got here?
Tiny rocks there for you? A little bit more.
Oh, look at this one. I like this texture.
Yeah,
one.
that one.
That one's pretty good.
This
Ooh,
That's a huge one.
That's a big boulder. You brought me a boulder. So the trick is to make it look you want it to match, but you're not going to get to match perfectly. And that's okay. It doesn't got to be perfect. Yeah, giving a little texture. Just enough, like I think once it's all painted up, no one will notice, right? That's what really matters. Is once we go to paint this up. I definitely, yes. I almost started talking about how I once again don't follow my own rules. You should let your putty cure. This putty takes about 24 hours, so I can't do anything to this putty for about 24 hours, which is fine. I'm not trying to get anything done quick. I'm trying to get it done right, and that's a huge mind shift difference right now. This guy was doing really good. You gotta try them all too. If someone brings you multiple rocks, you gotta check them all. Really, we just want to make sure it doesn't look repeated. Yeah, you want to make sure it's not uniform. But that's doing pretty good. We're going to have a clay shaper somewhere in my bag of tricks. Why have rules if you aren't willing to break them? Agreed. I always talk about like the important thing in art is learning the rules so you know how to break them. Because I think that's important. You want to know how and why the rules exist in art, and then that gives you a better skill in breaking them to do interesting things. If you're just rampaging through and making stuff up, it's fine. That's great, and maybe that's how you do it. But for me, I've always believed like if you got to understand the rules so you understand why you're breaking them. If you don't know the rules and you're just doing stuff, I don't ever feel like you can get the same effect. Little clay shaper helps smooth out some of these transitions. Breaking versus bending is important. That's absolutely true as well. Sometimes you got to bend the rule without breaking it. Sometimes you got to just shatter that rule. And just be like, this is why I art. So this little conversion wasn't that hard. Like I literally, the idea came about effectively yesterday. I took the parts and I spread them out all over my table, and I just looked at all the parts I had available, and was just like, okay, how can these go together differently? Because obviously it wasn't designed with this in mind. But that doesn't mean we can't do something unique with it, right? You know, we always talk about the fun of hobbying and how that's sort of the unique thing. Another one of the unique things about miniature hobbying is that personalization option that you get that other games may not give you. Is you can take and you can kind of forge your little story. You can be like, well, I want my Asgardian to look like this. And I'm going to be like, dope, good job. That's pretty good. Little spot right here. I think this whole section needs a little more putty. And that needs texture up here. Are you getting the shot? Mm-hmm. Yeah. All quiet on the set. This needs some more to hide that seam. I got a bad seam. But that's okay. Like I knew whenever I was building that, I saw the bad seam and I was like, well, that's a bad seam. And I was like, but that's okay. I'm already going to be adding new rock formations. So we'll just integrate more rock formation and cover up the bad seam. Just push it down. Just push it down. Pop, 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 pop. It might be a little messy, but that's okay. Once again, this is for my table at home. Like, no one's gonna complain. It's not for being.
The exact opposite.
What? Yeah.
It's great.
Good job. You built something.
Yeah.
I'm not entering it in a competition. I gave up on that a long time ago. It's too much work. Too much work for me. Look at that. Easy. Peasy. So let's let that cure for a little bit. Let's work on the next part. Let's start building a Valkyrie statue. So I have 2 classic wargame kidneys. This is a very important shape in wargaming hobby. Summer is the kidney bean. So we want something like this. let's glue that on. And then got some little fire pots. Spoiler, these are not from an Asgard set. I'm gonna cut the nub off this. Okay. Oh, I grabbed the wrong flame. It's that one. Just clean up any mold lines. Glue it in there. So what I thought might be cool is like a little sort of burnt offering situation. And then this is obviously too big. Or is it? Can y'all see that? Thoughts? Give me your thoughts. Is that chunk too big? We'll make it a vote.
I don't think it's too big.
Can the offering go on top of the chunk? I don't know if I like that. We could make like a little rock pile that the offering's on to bring it up.
Maybe if the rock pile was, or the rock was like leaning against the statue, like it fell or something instead of like standing straight up. Can you think of that?
Yeah, I didn't cut this with this in mind. This is what happens when you cut stuff without all the parts in mind. We're just making it up, kids. Yeah, I think this chunk is just a little too big because it's just going to hang off so much. We could cut it. Let's cut it. That's what the clippers is for. This is why they gave me clippers. Good thing this whole thing's a cutting mat. Let's do like just several. Yeah, that feels more intentional, doesn't it? We're just gonna throw some. We're gonna throw some glue on there. Let that start sealing itself to itself. And I think what we can do is, well, I mean, we'll add once that dries up a little bit, we'll add a little like putty to smooth those edges out, so it feels more like a full chunk of masonry. And then we'll add like some little debris around it as well to make it feel more like stuff has fallen and collapsed around this statue of a great warrior. That statue is about, oh gosh, what, 5 inches? So, MCP scale, what does that mean? Is any of my team listening? Kevin, Tony. Yeah, there's a sheet. They have the sheet. I just need them to tell me what the sheet says. I don't have the sheet memorized. Banana for scale. I don't have a banana. I have an AMG coffee mug for scale. Does that count? I thought might as well do 2. It's like the movie Contact taught me. It's like, why build 1 when you can get 2? This train set was really fun to kind of come up with, as like this, like, you know, this like ruins of Asgard, you know, like it's a great battle that's happening, right? And then Malekith kind of carried on that theme, obviously. Let's move that forward. Yeah, you always have a backup. Sometimes when you're using these bits and you want them to feel more natural. It's like even after you clip them, I take my hobby knife and I clean them up and make it feel more natural, not just like a big jagged chop. Because you want to try to integrate everything the best you can. So this is from the Asgard set. And what I was thinking here is because we have this fire pot motif going on, we're going to continue that throughout the build. Once again, cohesive storytelling, right? So this comes from the Battle of Asgard pack, and they're like these little sconces. Just cleaning them up. Who doesn't like a little fire? And I think we need to nick the bottom off this as well. Make this a little more flat. I think we're going to glue that to the center here. What do you think? I know they can't see that yet, can they? This?
No, they can see that now.
What do you think of that fire pot in the center? I like it. And it makes it different.
Definitely was intentional too. Like that room is meant to have that.
Yeah, that was part of the design doc. It wasn't. I'm sorry. But when you have like it's fun because when you have like solid like we have like a solid like design like philosophy throughout the train sets, right? Train set, like you can get these interesting things that build off one another by just rearranging the parts a little bit, right? So very, very easy to integrate parts in new manners, just because the way everything does sort of work together already, right? It's designed to work together. You feel like it should be off the ground. I feel like it should be off the ground. I think I'd have to make something, which isn't the worst idea. Because the one that it comes with, I don't think works. But we can try. Let's see what it looks like with this. I don't know if this pylon works that it is designed to work with. I don't think it fits in that circle well. It's definitely a Cape Fire hazard, and I'm actually kind of okay with that. Like low fire braziers are a thing. I'm thinking of it more like a camp, not a camp, but sort of like that, right? Yeah, this just kind of breaks the circle a little too much for me. Like that would not be designed like that. Because like the banding goes underneath the feet of that. And you definitely would not design like that. Man, I don't know. Okay, I think there's something there. We just got to figure out how to lift it. We just got to figure out how to lift it, kids. The trick is the column. Like if we want to do a column, it should fit with the circle that's on the terrain. And currently I don't have a column that does that, right? Because then the legs that we currently have break the frame of the circle, which makes it look not correct. See, and just a little putty can hide where we cut to make those solid columns. I'm on my off camera again.
That's okay. You got a lot going on here. Let me just adjust it.
Got like 8 projects
You
happening.
do.
I should have planned better.
You planned great.
I never plan. You know. That is the secret. What's Dawes' plan? Moo. Moo. All I'm saying is Star-Lord gave me all of his winging it tokens. Little putty hides all those hollow parts, makes it a solid piece of rock. which we'll do over here as well, and on all of it. But just wanted to give like an idea of like how we're doing that and like how to like hide those details, right? And then you can just throw in a bunch of like little, like I have a wonderful collection of little stones I carry around, and I have a bunch of rocks. Okay, how are we dealing with this? I don't know. This just doesn't work. Maybe we just don't put it in the center. I mean, there's an arch there. There's going to be arches there. What if we mount it into the rock along the sides like this? What do you think of that? And then you could do another. Oh, the statue has tons of detail, Seeker. Tons of detail. Oh gosh, I got 2 different X-Actos out. Oh, Seeker's buying this. Who else? Andrea? Kel? I know there's lots of people in the chat. And that would actually be pretty easy to glue there. And then use a little putty to like build up some rock around it to make it a little more integrated. And then what I'm thinking is in the second one down here. Like there.
Are the statues going on this? That's the idea, right?
No. No, the statues would be freestanding.
Freestanding around it, okay.
No, what do we think of this? What do you think about that? We put the fire pots in the rocks going up the stairs. That's the question. And then maybe this one down here, we'd have to build like a little pile of rock underneath that.
Take a little bit off so it's not on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think I'm digging this more than the center. So this just needs like a little platform. Yeah, you gotta light the stairs. yeah. Oh yeah, that's gonna be rad.
Yeah, I'm really liking that. I think that is definitely fitting a theme. And I do like that you're not putting them completely like even with each other.
I will always avoid
Symmetry.
symmetry.
Well, it doesn't look natural in a lot of instances,
I
right?
know. It's like a face. No one likes a symmetrical face. Gross. Gross. Oh, yeah. That's the ticket. We'll have to add a little putty around this one, but that's okay. I'm going to just tack it on for now. And then we'll add a little putty around there to get it more integrated. There we go. Dope. Okay, we're getting down to the last few minutes. Better start asking your questions. Tomorrow we'll be back painting though. Sport. I believe. Should I say what it is? I'm pretty sure I know what it is. Sometimes I just don't look at my schedule until.
Yeah. And then you're like in the morning, like literally.
It's either Jane Foster or Sif.
Oh, okay. Okay.
It's one.
Like that's on options and first for you and second.
Yeah, it's one of the two. Sif. The miniature is dope. There we go. So y'all better be ready to tune in tomorrow then, huh? I'm just shaping some stuff here, right? Just blending into that already sculpted stuff a little bit better. As the putty dries, it starts to firm up, and you can start getting a little more precise with the texture. And shape it the way you want it shaped. Yeah, all the new Asgard, really cool stuff. It was really fun to get back to Asgard after being away from it for so long. And getting some new characters and new sculpts for it. And I'm super excited. I need to get that. I need to get that Loki. And this is all. This part that I'm doing is not necessary, right? If you don't want to do this, this is just a little precision nonsense. There you go. Not a bad start, eh? Might even glue Summer's rock she brought me to the... Just right there, right? Yeah, that's actually a good idea. I'm going to glue that there. I mean, after the putty dries, obviously. This one's a good one too, though. I think this one can go on the Valkyrie statues. That's like perfect. Actually, makes for a really solid little piece of rubble to accentuate the already sculpted stuff.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, and more fire pots to throw around somewhere.
Maybe a knocked over one or something.
Oh, like toppled? Oh, yeah. Somebody kicked it.
Yeah.
Rude.
A lot of rubble coming down. Maybe something knocked it on the way down.
Look, Malekith, you know, he brings the pain when he rolls in, right? Like, dude ain't playing nice, for sure. This needs to be... That needs to be... It's a little lopsided and that drives me crazy. There we go. Much better. Much better. I might add flags to these Valkyrie statues as well. Like big, long triangle shaped ones would be pretty cool, right? I think it'd be pretty cool. That's all. Oh, huh? Those? That's all rainbowed, yeah. Wait till they read the article. Dope. That's it, Summer. We did an hour.
You made it?
We made it. I think we did pretty good.
I think you did wonderful.
We did great. Am I here?
You are here.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. All right.
You can do it great.
Remember, every Tuesday and Wednesday at 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, you can check us out right here on Twitch. It's Atomic Mass Transmissions Live. We hang out, we hobby, we paint, we chat with you, and hang out with the community at large. And then for all the latest news, information, and announcements from Atomic Mass Games, you should check out Twitter or check out Instagram, because that's where the marketing team posts news, information, announcements. That's like my news thing. Yeah, beep, 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 beep. That's exactly it, right? It's like old timey. Tune in next week and like, all right, till tomorrow. I'll see you later. Bye. Go be heroes, and we may.